We're streaming.
Sometimes it needs to reload and move it to. Oh, it's save live. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Yes. Cool. Do we have audio? Can you check?
We do have audio. I can hear me.
Okay. Awesome.
Voice is good.
Good.
Yes.
So welcome to the pre-stream. Hannibal, do you wanna say a few words?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, welcome to the first developer live stream. This is basically just meant to be a casual session where we play some MuX and build some things, and then if you want to join in and have some questions for us, we're free and we can totally answer some of your questions. And just getting to know some of the people who are interested in MuX, or some of the people who might have bought the game. So this is the first time, obviously, so we have no idea what we're doing really. Like, we're still getting used to the streaming thing and also the whole community thing, but we want to get really good at this. So hopefully this is a little thing we'll do a bunch more times in the future.
Yes. Yeah, that's the plan. So yeah, just if you have any questions, just feel free to send them in the chat, and we'll keep an eye on the chat. And yeah, I think that's a big part of the goal for today, right? It's just people can ask us some questions, and we can figure out also a bit which things we communicated and which things are still very vague.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we basically see the whole communicating with you guys, communicating and building the community as it's just super important to the entire project, but it's also a work in progress, just like MuX is. So we appreciate all your feedback and all your interest and everything.
Yes.
Cool.
So since we have a little bit of time before actually going live, I think maybe we'll just start and build something, and then we'll just see people come in.
Yes, basically. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Cool.
Make some sound.
Okay, so Hannibal was showing me this cool Star Wars sound,
right,
that he made before. So do you wanna go ahead and
Sure.
and build that?
Sure. Okay.
Great.
I guess the most important thing you want when you're playing MuX is you want a bunch of sounds. Let's try to make some noise. Can you pass me the headphones so I can hear? Thanks. All right. So look, first, of course, no sound without a speaker. So you've got your trusty old speaker, and you've got your oscillator. You always need a generator to make some sound. So we were just talking about, like, okay, it's probably a good idea to start out with making some different sounds. So I guess one of my favorite, like, basic sounds is the pew pew laser sound. So let's go ahead and make that one. So first, like, before I do anything, I usually have I think it's a good habit of making a volume button. So it's just a multiplier with a knob on it. You don't need the knob, but I like the knobs. I probably shouldn't have said that publicly. I'm getting some tracking issues. Let me just pull up my hip gear here. And then it's also quite a good idea to put a low pass on your entire arrangement, just so that you don't, like, blow your ears out when you get into some of these crazy waveforms. So I'm just gonna go to, like, a 0.5 volume, and let's try to make some sound. So let's just start testing our.
We're still on the speakers here. I'm just gonna. I think now you should have it on.
Yeah, it's totally better now. Right. Got our sine wave. Okay, so if we want, like, a good laser sound, obviously we need a decay. And
so what does the decay do?
right, so this is the decay, and the decay is a guy that goes from one value to another value. Wow, I'm getting really, really bad tracking right now. So what he does is he goes from this value, 1, to this value over this time, or this is known as the half time. So when I push the thing, you can actually see it moving down there. Oh my god. And that's super useful for when you want to make a pulsing sound, or if you want to make something that's not constant. So as opposed to having the constant sine wave, we put this guy in here, we press this guy, then we get a little bit more of a pulse, which is great when you want to do arrangements that are time sensitive, or if you're just tired of having these droning sounds all over the place. So this is your classic sort of sine boop sound, but to make it a little bit more interesting, we can also play with the frequency. So this is I guess technically amplitude modulation. Or what we can do is we can play with the frequency. So if we take a multiplier and we take another decay, and technically you don't need the multiplier for this, but I like to do it this way. So I go to my 120 hertz that I had over here, and then I have so I multiply by 1 down to 0. So if I remove this, and so let's just bring the frequency up quite a bit. And we want to trigger both of these buttons at the same time, so I'm just going to pull out a bigger button here and connect both of them to the smaller buttons. And then you should be able to hear the difference. Like that. That's sort of your laser sound, your terrible old school laser sound. And you can play around with the wave type as well. This is like your old video game laser sound. All right. Do you want to play a little bit around with this one, Edward? Or
Yeah.
Yeah?
I want to see what you did. Alright, so, oh yeah, you're right, the tracking is funny sometimes. I don't know what's up with that. Okay, so that's cool. So we have a bunch of things here that we can play with. So let me just hear this. I like that.
Oh, and by the way,
really cool.
This is Yenmark, our technical director.
All right, so we have these two half times, right? So this guy, he's doing exponential decay. So this is the amount of time that it will take to get from the value that it was at to half of that value. So what we can do is we can change that and see how it sounds. So this one is changing the amplitude. So if we put this a bit higher, then we keep it a bit longer. Wow, the tracking is bad. So you can hear we're getting some more of this strange clicky sound at the end. I can make that even more.
I think you can take up the volume a little bit on the...
Take up the volume a little bit? Yeah, so... this... Okay, so... whereas we... right, if we put it way down... Oh, that's quite a different sound. So, okay, so on the other hand... Oh, what's up with these controllers? It's strange. We didn't have that just before.
Yeah, it's odd. You can perhaps drag the entire thing, walk like a couple steps back. That might help because you might be body
Yes.
blocking.
Oh yeah, maybe I'm in the wrong place of the room. So I'll just take these over here. Let's see if that's a bit better. Okay, so then I want to see what happens if we increase this one. Or what if we decrease it? That's also kind of cool. So, alright. So, if we're going for kind of a lasery sound, I feel like
Right.
it should be a bit high. And then this one can maybe be a bit shorter. That kind of sounds lasery to me.
Pretty lasery.
Okay, cool. So right now, right, we're just having this one frequency, but we can also play with that. So kind of this, we can also So one of the things that we do a lot is we take a MIDI value and translate it into a frequency. So we'll go over here to this pink orangey menu, and we'll take this guy. So this guy, he takes MIDI values. MIDI values are basically indexes in a piano keyboard. And we can translate them into frequencies. So what we can do is we can go ahead and set this guy. So this guy right now, he's sending out a 1, but we're overriding it here with those ones anyway. So he can have something else, and that actually doesn't make a difference right now.
Right, and that's because you're connecting to the button, and the button, whatever value that has, is what gets triggered. The tiny purple button, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. So what these buttons do when they get an event is they just care about the fact that they got an event, and they act like they got pressed. But they don't really care about the value of that event. So this guy, he's just going to send a 1, and this guy is just going to send a 1 no matter what the value was. Right, but this guy, he's going to care. So if we put this to kind of like a normal-ish MIDI value, and we put this in here, then now you can see that this will also change when I press the button. And then when I change this, I get a different sound. So now I could hook this up to something that generates these MIDI values for me. So just because I have 3 things going here, I'm gonna take this guy, and he doesn't do much, but he just helps me to keep everything a little bit tidy.
Yeah.
So what I can do is I'm just going to connect him to the same places, and then I'm just going to disconnect this guy, and I'm just going to put him in here. So he sends the event, and it goes to all 3 of these places. So then we can take something else, and we can use it to generate these kind of MIDI events. So we have this guy, for example, and you can kind of see he has a sort of layout like a piano, these being the white keys and these being the black keys, and he works together with this guy. So you can see here that we have these lasers, and when they get interrupted, then he sends out an event. So here we have a note on and a note off, and right now they're not connected, so that's why you're not hearing anything. But once we take this one and put it over here, now if we did everything correctly, right, we get, and now we can play this sound generator with this MIDI interface. But we can also still do it here.
Right.
and we could build yet another thing that generates these MIDI sounds for us.
Right, and you can actually see the MIDI value on the keyboard itself. There's stream components on each key. Yeah.
Yes. So so to determine this MIDI value, we have this guy, which is setting the bass key, and then we have an offset from our bass key, going from 0 being the bass key to 1 above the bass key, all the way here to 11 above the bass key. So, for example, if we wanted to add another octave to this, what we could do is just spawn another one. That guy over here. And then we could just add 12 to this. And then we'd probably use another one of these guys. And then have this go here. And have this go here. And have this go here. And now I can go. And just keep going. Okay, so that's kind of nice. Hannibal, what do you want to do next?
Well, maybe it would be cool if you could select between some different sounds.
Okay, cool. So let's build another sound. Do you want to go ahead, or should I keep going?
I think you're going quite well. I'll let you keep going.
Cool. Okay, so then let's make another sort of sound. And we were talking about we quite often have these sounds that use the decay, which go up very, very sharply and then have this exponential fall off. But we actually don't play around so much with sounds that have like a slower attack to them. So maybe we make a sound that's kind of like that.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So then let's organize ourselves a little bit. So I'm gonna make some space over here for my sound generators. So I'm just gonna solidify these two connections so that they stick together, and then I'm gonna place this over here. So this is my input to it, and then I will make a new speaker to go next to it. Oh, yeah, the tracking is definitely not so good over here. So I'll just come a little bit this way. And then we can make our new sound over here. So, okay, so let's take an oscillator. They're good for making sounds. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a low pass. So the low pass, we can use it to filter our frequencies, and those can be hearable frequencies. But right now, actually, I'm more interested in filtering frequencies that are so low that they're below the hearable spectrum. So I actually want to take this guy down all the way to something like 1 hertz, and then I'm gonna use that to gate my signal. So he's gonna go into here, and now what you can see is if I change this guy, then so if I change this guy, then this guy, he takes a little while to catch up. So here you can actually really well see the effect that the low pass filter has. So now it's all the way at 1. So if I go to 0, then about 1 second later it hits 0.5. Another second later it hits 0.25, and it just keeps going like that. So what I can do is I can use that to gate this oscillator over here. Put him here.
Pig Meta in the chat is asking, can you take in external MIDI inputs?
So that's a good question. So right now, there's no pre-made way to do it, which we will do. We have been experimenting a little bit, just hacking it together here in-house, but that's something that's definitely on our to-do list. So you could take MIDI values from your MIDI keyboard or other MIDI instruments.
Yeah, I think we have a general curiosity about how to connect MuX with the outside world in all sorts of different ways, and a lot of ideas on that one.
All right, so now I can set this by hand. All right, then I can put it up and down. But I would kind of like for some event to come in and then just have this go up and then quite quickly afterwards go down. So I'm going to use this guy, and I'll just quickly demonstrate what he does. So this guy, he just sends on an event, but he takes a little while to do it. So I'll just put the time here. So this is going to be 4 seconds. So this guy is set to 0 right now. So if we send a 1 here, then the 1 is going to be over here for 4 seconds, and then it comes over here. So I can put that a bit lower, so it goes a bit quicker. So I just want this quite small delay to the event. And then what I would like to do is put this up to 1, so this starts going up, and then quite quickly afterwards I want to send 0 going here and put it through there. So now if I hit this, that actually still takes pretty long. I think I want that a little bit,
it's a little
bit shorter. Yeah. So I could put this up a bit. It's like, I think it's kind of a cool sound. So then I could change the wave type on this. So I think I'd like this to be a bit more of an aggressive wave, but I'm going to filter it a little bit with another low pass filter, so it doesn't completely go crazy. I'm just going to solidify these guys again, and then put this in between. And so you can hear that this doesn't have that much effect on the sine wave. But if we put in something like a square wave, then if we do it without, it's going to sound a little bit harsh. But if we put this guy in between, it becomes much more, or like becomes less harsh on the ears. But we still get that kind of characteristic of the square wave. So let's experiment a bit. So put this up a bit. Let's stick with a triangle wave. Let's hear it without the low pass. And then we can do a similar trick where we use a MIDI to frequency to go in here. And then we'll take a pass to go to all of these. So then we can use this guy who was sending MIDI values here, and we can send MIDI values here.
So we have another question.
Yes.
From Numeric Depiction. He asks whether we've considered to eventually render 3D audio instead of mono. He says, I could see wanting to be able to hear binaural sound?
Binaural, yes.
Yeah. Binaural audio based on my head position relative to any speakers, or being able to place a binaural microphone object in the environment that would always render the sound from particular position regardless of the position of my head.
Yes. Yeah, so that's definitely something that we've been thinking about. But it's for now not something that's on our direct roadmap. But we can definitely see the appeal in that. It's definitely something that we think is really cool, and we can see how much potential that could have. Okay, so Hannibal, now we have these two sounds. So what should we do?
I think it would be good to start composing a little bit, or perhaps try to see if we can automate this a little bit so we can get some music out of these sounds.
Okay, cool. So I think what would be cool is if we had some way where we can select which sound we're playing.
Yeah.
So we have a component that's pretty much specifically to do that kind of thing, which is this guy. So this guy, I can just quickly try and demonstrate him. If we have two decays over here, just to show that something's getting an event, and we hook this one up over here and this one over here. And then we take our button, we go here. So now if I go in here, you can see that the right one is getting the event. And that's because this guy is set at 0, and this is output number 0. So if I set this to 1, then it's going to go out of output number 1. And we can scale this to be as big as we want. So
using the trigger button on the controller.
Yes. So what we could do is take this guy and hook him up to here and here. And then if we have, for example, our laser keys over here, we put them in here. Now if we set this to 0, we play, we get this. But if we set it to 1 and we play, so that's nice. We can select which one it goes to, but maybe we want some of them to go here and some of them to go over there. So in order to do that, we need to decide on a little bit of a format. So what I like to do is have my events fire in little groups. So for example, I could say that events always fire in groups of 2 going towards this thing. So one is going to say where we're going, and then the other one is going to say what should go there.
And I guess just to be clear, events are the signals that travel through the little brown wires, right?
Yes. Yeah, so events travel through all of these guys. And then if we have these thicker connections, we call them streams. So the difference is that a stream is continuous. A stream
always has a value, and it can be continuously updating. But an event, it can it's just most of the time there's nothing happening, and then every once in a while there's like there's a signal that goes through it. So if we trigger an event here, then it will travel through here, and then through here, and then here it goes to 2 different places. But for example, it goes down here, and then here it starts affecting the stream, and the stream is what actually produces the audio. So okay, so what I would like to do is to be able to say, for example, this instrument, I wanted to play one sound or another instead of.
But I fucking kicked the. I might have touched the LAN cable.
Okay.